Do you not think that having diverse friendship groups is important for a child to grow?
Not really.
Because don't you reckon, like, when we travel the world, right?
Yeah.
I love that you're like shaking your head ready. You're like, oh, I'm ready. I'm going to gear up for this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But like, you know, all of us are adults. We've all traveled the world. We've got to meet new people. We've had a great time.
Yeah.
And in that has meant that our personality and our person has grown.
Then why can't you teach all of that to your child?
I'm not saying why not. I'm definitely not. Absolutely not. But
You don't need
part
a
of our
million different
experience-
influences to tell them what to do.
Not at all. Not at all. But part of that comes from playing with other friends and you know, having experiences from
Yeah,
other
but that's very different. Like
Right?
having
Being
your
raised-
child having friends is totally different from the state,
Yeah.
as in, you know, schools or nannies or, you know, whatever. Like these examples we've given is very different from them influencing your child with a certain doctrine and a certain worldview and certain values. That's very, very different because you want your child to have the whole, ideally, I would hope, wholesome values that you and your partner believe in because you want them to be your kid.
Because
then
at the end
too-
of the day, that's your child. That's one thing I realized. If you don't protect your children in certain specific ways when they're growing up, even if they end up being fucked up or being influenced by something even slightly so small, that's your child that is fucked, not them.
So I would say that I'm really glad I didn't grow up to be like my mum. I'm just going to say that, like, and with all the love to her, like she did some pretty bad things.
Yeah, but would you want your kids to grow up to be like you?
I'd like them to make their own choices to a degree.
Do you think a
you
kid
know?
That's
can
what's
make its
messing
own
up the world.
choices?
I think that I'm going to help for sure. But if my kid's like, fuck you, I don't want to stay at home. I don't want to do this kind of like education.
What if he's 12? Are you going to let him go? Make his own choice in the world?
I think that's a bit of a sweeping generalization.
It's not. I'm putting.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you know what I mean?
asking. I'm putting it into reality. So you said you want your kids to make your own choices. So I'm saying a 12-year-old wants to make his own choice. He's going out into the world.
So I think what the container might be is like we're worried that it's going to be a completely different upbringing. Like we're going to bring in wholesome values, and then the kid's going to go off and go, oh, I'm going to go do tattoos, or I'm going to go in like.
It happens. I've seen it happen in my own house.
With your sister, right?
Yeah. No, I've seen it happen. And
So
why do you think like there'll be conservative Christian parents? They come home with these liberal ass kids. Who taught them that?
Yep.
is she happy, your sister? I think that's what it comes down to, right?
No, I would say she struggled more with mental health than any of my other
She's
siblings.
confused. That's
Yeah.
what happens. Confusion happens.
Do you think that's like correlation or causation?
I think the liberals caused it. Yup. Yup.
That was the moment.
I think my sister was a baby loving, wanted to be a nurse, wanted all these like she's probably more naturally motherly than any of the girls. I would say she's a better cook than all of us. She's better with babies than all of us. She like the most natural mother, and the liberals got
Destroyed
her.
her.
Just got her.
But look at this. Like, so fundamentally, like if you're a parent and you're trying to instill your worldview in your kids, you want the best for them because they're your kid. You want them to be happy.
an
You
ideal
genuinely
scenario.
want, okay, ideally, right? I mean, I think that applies to 99.99% of parents, right? There's a minority that are maybe dickheads, okay? I'll concede that there's some dickheads.
Yeah.
Cool. But I think the majority of parents want the best for their kid. They want them to be fulfilled in life and have a happy life. However, when you put that child under the influence of the state or whoever else, they have an agenda. And they don't have the best interests of that child at heart. They have their own interests at heart. So they're going to try and manipulate. They're going to try and manipulate and adjust that child to follow a certain agenda, which is beneficial to them in the long run. And they do it en masse in the form of public schooling.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Exactly.
so once you have your children go to like a public
Oh,
school.
hell no. My kids are getting homeschooled.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All 20 of them homeschooled.